Ready?
Ready.
All right, ready, Paul?
Yep.
Okay. Meeting called order of the West Warwick Zoning Board, Wednesday, November 28th, 2018. First thing I'm gonna do is everybody stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing. 1 second.
Lord, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Peter Kelsey.
Here.
Alan Clark.
Here.
Jeffrey Hunt.
Here.
Michael McPhillips.
Here.
Justin Kutu.
Here.
Amy Ortiz.
Here.
Richard Banks.
Here.
There's a quorum on record.
That's good. I'd like to welcome our two new members, our alternates, Amy Ortiz, who is a paralegal with Devaney and Fogarty and Rubizzo, which means she does most of the work. And, sorry, Peter. And Jeffrey Hunt, he is, lives in town, is into construction, so we welcome both of them to the board. Now we get to accept the minutes of the August 29th and October 31st meetings, which were previously tabled. Does anybody have any comment on that?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to take it off the table so that we can approve it.
Okay, I'll second it.
Vote.
Call for a vote.
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 Yes.
Vote to remove
All
from the
ayes?
table.
Aye.
Aye. Nays? None hearing. The minutes are accepted for August 29th.
No, you gotta vote on the minutes.
Yeah.
You took it off the table.
Any other comment about?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the table, the motion, excuse me, the minutes of the meeting on August 29th.
I'll second it.
It's October, right?
August 29th. Take it one at a time.
Oh, okay.
We could do the August ones first
Vote.
and then October.
Well, there wasn't a meeting in October, so there was no minutes.
Right.
So we just have to,
Okay.
just have to read the 29th.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
You guys have it.
Mr. Chairman, before you get into the agenda, I have two matters. The first is that petition 2018-8. The applicant is Chadwick Barros. As I came in today to mark the exhibits, I noted that there is no radius map filed. Unfortunately, without a radius map, there's no way for the record to show whether the people that were required by statute received the notice, so that I don't think the matter is properly before the board for hearing at this time. And I would suggest a continuance to the next meeting, which is in January, unfortunately. But I don't believe that the board can go forward without a radius map having been submitted. Is there anyone here
Are they here?
from Chadwick Barros?
Good evening, my name is Dante Piamaco.
Chadwick Barros.
You're Mr.
Yes, I'm there, I'm the attorney for Chadwick Barros.
There was never any radius map filed.
So I just heard, I had been told, and I believe the engineer had been told, that because this is in a business park, no radius map was needed. But apparently that information is,
This is in the business park?
yes,
Yeah,
Was
it is.
notice given to all the people?
yes,
It's in the business park.
Okay, I withdraw that. I didn't realize it was in the business park. Okay.
thank you very much.
The second matter that I have is that application 2018-9, which is, I think, number 11, I'm not sure.
15.
Mr. Curran is here on behalf of the applicant, and unfortunately, he's like his associate John Bernero that likes to create problems. He's got a matter up in Coventry, so I would ask that the board consider moving his application up so that he can get on to the next matter.
That's fine. We'll take the rest.
A motion to amend the
Take a motion to
agenda.
amend
My suggestion would be to first take the motion that was before us when we did not have a quorum in the October meeting,
Okay.
and then we'll take
Okay.
them directly after.
I just would like to see us moved up for him.
Mhm.
So we'll go with the first matter of 2018-5.
Okay. Okay, petition number 2018-5, applicant 405 QL Holdings LLC, Belize, owner the same, premises 405 Quaker Lane, plat 29, lot 41, zone B. Proposed use, the applicant is seeking a dimensional variance for animated sign LED measuring 108 by 108 for a total of 815 square feet, 25 feet high, supported by two 4-by pylons under section 5.10.4 and 5.10.3 of the zoning ordinance of the town of West Warwick, as amended. This is previously tabled. We probably have to take it off the table first before we can start.
I don't think it was tabled. I don't
It's
think
just
we-
continued, it was continued to date certain.
We couldn't do anything. We
No.
didn't have the authority to even
No, it
table
was
it.
continued to date certain. Mr. Chairman, I have marked as exhibits, exhibit number 1, the application, exhibit number 2, the zoning certificate, exhibit number 3, a copy of the 2011-4 decision, exhibit number 4, the tax collector report, exhibit number 5, a picture of the sign, exhibit number 6, a narrative, a map, exhibit number 7, the abutters list, the radius map was 6. Exhibit number 8 is the survey, and exhibit number 9 is the site plan.
With the green cards?
Hmm?
The green cards?
No, do you have your green cards?
I do not.
I'm moving forward with green cards.
I understand. I'll speak into the mic. I understand.
Could I have your name, please?
Jeremy Ricks. I am an attorney working with attorney Joseph
Jeremy,
Shikarchi.
what, please?
Ricks, Jeremy, last name Ricks, Rix. I'm an attorney working with attorney Joe Shikarchi, representing 405 QL Holdings LLC. Due to some delays outside of the applicant's control, we were not able to proceed with the mailing of the notices, and as those circumstances have not yet resolved, we would request that this honorable board continue this petition indefinitely at this time.
The board cannot, I don't believe the board can continue indefinitely.
No, it's be a period certain. It's gonna be a certain date.
In that event, we would request that the matter be held until the January meeting.
That's the next meeting,
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Mhm.
I think this board is ready to vote on this matter right now.
Can you write out the green card?
Yeah.
There was notice. The notice was sent out for the month of October's meeting. There was no additional notice necessary. Is that correct, Mr. Solicitor?
Yes, the notice was given for October.
That's right.
The October meeting continued to date certain. That was the notice.
This application has not been withdrawn before tonight's meeting. Therefore, I believe this committee, should vote on this matter immediately.
Do we have authority to do that?
Yes,
Doesn't matter.
the matter was before the board,
That's right.
and the matter, the notice was given the notice was given for your November meeting,
The fact that
for
the
your October meeting.
The fact that the applicant has not fulfilled his obligation, either by his own doing or by method of their attorney, is not necessarily anything that we should be considering to giving them the ability to correct that situation and bring it to us at a later date. There are multiple problems with this application. And I believe myself, I'm very willing to explain all of that once we continue.
I would appreciate the continuance under those circumstances so that we may have the full hearing with all of the information and be able to address these concerns.
I think the problem was that you had it scheduled for October. I personally gave notice to your office that because of a lack of quorum, the meeting that you had properly noticed was going to be continued until tonight. No one appeared. The board granted that continuance. They had no choice to do anything else because the state law requires 5 people. They can continue to date certain with 4 people. I personally gave notice to your office of that continuance. The meeting was called to order, the continuance was granted. So tonight you're properly back before the board. You've got a couple of problems here. You've got the fact that you have not complied with the regulations of filing your green cards, which is one problem and I'm not suggesting what the board do. I could say that when you don't file them, they have the right to deny it, and then they can get into whatever merits they want. I don't know what their merits are, that's not my advice. But I think that the board has the right to move forward tonight as the facts stand.
We'll be prepared now. Apologize, but,
Mr. Chairman,
yep, go ahead, Pete.
do you have a site map that's stamped, certified certified 1 site map to present?
We do not have a Class 1 survey, no.
Okay, so that's 2 strikes so far. Okay. Is there any particular reason why you don't have that tonight?
We are in the process of discussing with the DOT the
That's not for this, that's not
Right,
a subject matter for this board to consider tonight. You've presented a map to us that seemingly looks like it was done professionally, could be an overview.
Overview.
No, it could be a copy of a Site 1 map, but it's not stamped, there's no company name on it, but this is the only paper that you presented this board to consider the item that is on the agenda for October and tonight regarding an animated sign. Problem with this particular map, along with not being site approved or being stamped, and without a name of the company, the location of said requested sign is not on land that the applicant presently owns, nor do I believe that it's leased by them. So that's strike number 3, that we couldn't approve your application tonight for the 3rd reason. 3 strikes so far.
If I might interrupt, Mr. Kelsey,
You see basically you're out after 3 strikes.
the owner of the land is not on the application at all.
The owner of the land, is it still town lot?
The owner of the land where the sign is located
Correct.
is not on the application.
The applicant is not the owner of the site where you requested to put the sign.
hence why we wish to continue this, or rather,
Sir, how many bites of the apple do you think that you should get?
No.
You have 3 items that you have improperly brought before this council for consideration in October and again in November.
It's not prepared properly. It's improperly prepared.
Not even close.
Gotta come prepared. If you're gonna come before us, at least come a little bit prepared. You know what I mean?
I apologize for not having the application in order. I believe I was under the impression falsely that we would have the ability to continue this, and I would respectfully request that the petition be withdrawn at this time.
Granted.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just to put my thoughts on the table, I am not in favor of either one of those suggestions. It's my opinion that I'm ready to vote on this tonight.
It's withdrawn. They
No,
withdraw.
they
Can't
can't.
withdraw it, it's already before the board.
They can't withdraw.
Cannot withdraw, you needed to
You-
do that before the
the-
meeting started.
The board, they have to request the board to allow withdrawal.
Something this board must vote on. Now, it's before the board. Consider all of the laws, all of the bells and whistles that get checked off by the building official, all the bells and whistles that gets checked off by the surveyor, the planner, the spokesperson for the applicant himself, and the legal counsel for the applicant. How many bites of the apple are we looking at? How many months of preparation? And I know that there's been consideration by the town of West Warwick, either from the solicitor, the planner, the town manager, and possibly some other people that have given you the opportunity that there might be some issues regarding the placement of the sign, the application thereof. Mr. Chairman, if there's no other comment, I move that we go
Close the
directly
public-
to
Close the public hearing.
close the public hearing, unless there are any demonstratives that may want to speak.
Anybody else want to have a comment?
Felix Apollonia,
Would you raise your right hand? So I tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the
I do. My family, under a trust, owns a piece of property within the 200 feet. It would be Irma Apollonia, just to be factual. I don't quite understand, where would this sign, without a title block on a plan, is it correct there's a plan with no title block?
That's correct.
The problem, Felix, is that on the documentation submitted to the zoning board, they are locating a sign on the island of the right-hand turn. So they're locating a sign, requesting permission for a sign on a piece of property that they don't own.
Right, on that piece of property, isn't there a national,
It doesn't matter what's there. They don't own it. They can't apply for a
so how does
sign.
someone appear without identifying who the owner is?
Well, that's the whole problem. It would
That's our
be,
question, that's our problem we have.
that's the
It's
problem.
not our job to
Right.
make the applicant bring that
But
up.
I don't understand why there's no, why is a professionally made drawing have no title block?
We have no say over that.
Could I ask the attorney?
It doesn't matter, Felix.
Felix, it doesn't.
All right,
I mean,
okay.
it's kind of a moot point, really.
It just seems
At
a
the
little,
present time.
it seems a little unusual. There's nothing indicating who made the drawing?
Just not prepared.
Okay,
It's
all
just
right.
not, preparation is bad.
Just let me add one more item.
Quickly.
Mr. Apollonia brought up this island that's being referenced. I'm not sure if council is aware that there's a gas vault, a major gas vault that's located on that island. National Grid owns that. And also that there's a major transformer, probably 20 feet away from the major gas vault, also located on that island. Both of those are probably within 15 to 20 feet of your proposed sign application site. Are you aware of that? I'm just curious.
I'm not, excuse me, I'm not personally aware
Okay.
of the locations, and I believe that the intent was prior to our request to withdraw the petition at this time would be to have submitted the full Class 1 survey and take into account, of course, any utilities or any geographical features that would have posed issues or been cause for objections. But I'm not specifically aware of the exact locations of the gas or electrical utilities in that area.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
I would
Mr. Chairman.
suggest that that's fault number 4.
one last point.
Yep.
The board has no authority to grant relief on a piece of property that the applicant, that the owner of the property is not an applicant.
Okay, any other comment?
I move to close public hearing.
I'll second.
Close public hearing. Discussion?
Motion.
Do we want more?
Do we, I don't know if we need any more discussion. I think we've had a lot of discussion already. Discussion should be over with. Okay? How about we take a
A
vote?
motion.
Make a motion to,
Mo- Motion.
Just a point of clarification, I guess, it's not necessary to have any hearing,
Affidavit.
any,
We have to give an affidavit, personal affidavit
No.
from the members?
No, you make a motion to approve, and then
okay,
vote whether you want to approve or deny.
okay. But it's not necessary to have testimony or,
No,
okay,
it's been put on the record why you're voting.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, for the purposes of finalizing this application, I move to approve this application. Seemingly that there are at least 3 flaws with the application itself. Stating that there were no cards that were originally brought to the town billing official or planner for the month of October or November. There is no Site 1 plan that's available to be considered, and there's probably some other things I'm forgetting, but based on that, I move that we carefully
You're
approve
voting
this,
to
consider to approve it.
If I might, Mr. Chairman, just for the new members, all votes are taken because of state law, the way it reads. All votes are taken to approve. Even though you may move to approve, you still have the right to vote to deny.
I need a second.
Second.
I'll second that.
Peter Kelsey,
No.
Alan Horrick,
No,
Michael McPhillips,
no, because, I'm gonna give a reason for this, because what they're looking to do and put up would not be in, compliance isn't the right word, but it would change the landscape of the neighborhood. It would not be compatible with the area that they're looking to do what they wanna do in.
Justin Tucci,
No.
and Richard Banks.
No.
Motion is denied.
Application denied. Now, Mr. Chairman,
We're going to petition 15.
yeah,
Petition number 2018-9, applicant LaCroix Properties, owner Roy LaCroix, Revocable Living Trust, premises 1024 Main Street, plat 18, lot 35, zone R6. Proposed use, the applicant is seeking a dimensional variance permit for a subdivision of 1 into 2 lots, subdivided lot 89 by 70 to construct a 46 by 26 26-foot single-family dwelling under section 5.4 standard dimensional regulation table, lot depth of the zoning ordinance of the town of West Warwick as amended.
you need a motion to move it up on the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, let me thank the board for their courtesy in hearing me out of order. I do appreciate it. I'll keep it brief, get to the point. So, 1024 Main Street, right down the street here, diagonally across from the new Dollar General. It's corner of Main Street and Brayton Street. It's currently a single-family home with a detached two-car garage and a shed on 13,510 square feet of land. As the board is aware, it's a proposal to divide it into 2 lots. To do that, we'll agree to remove the detached garage and shed. In other words, clear the lot, start fresh. We're going to build a single-family home within the dimensional requirements. This is in the residential area of Brayton Street. As one reaches the bottom of the hill, there's a large commercial building with a large commercial parking lot. This is before that, and although there's a multifamily house across the street, it's otherwise surrounded by single-family homes. I would consider it to be the residential portion of this particular street, Brayton Street. The proposed lot, parcel B on the map before you, has 89 feet of frontage on Brayton Street and 89 feet along the back lot line. Each of the sidelines, 70 feet, and the resulting lot, 6,230 feet. The proposed lot's going to meet all the zoning requirements for R6, except for one. It has more than the required 6,000 square feet, more than the required 55 feet of frontage. More front side setback of 20, side setback of 6, and corner lot setback of 20. Each of those is being met, and the building height will not exceed 35 feet, and the lot coverage is acceptable. So we do need a variance for lot depth. We have 70 feet where 100 is required. There's some notes. You'll note that we went to planning and received master plan for this project. And you'll note in their decision, which I provided as part of the package, that they had some concerns about the rear lot setback. So we did a little redesign of the house and moved it around a bit. And so it is now conforming. So we're going to be able to build that 24 to 26 foot wide house and maintain that 20-foot setback in the rear as required by the zoning ordinance. So although that was an issue before planning, it is not an issue before you tonight. So the single issue is the 100-foot lot depth. The couple other things have been brought up by the planning board, which are usually concerns of the zoning board. So I just want to run through those quickly. The neighbors had expressed some concern regarding the width of Brayton Street, and in particular that these folks who would live in this proposed house would not be parking on the street, and therefore further reducing the width of Brayton Street. So the planning board has suggested, and we've agreed, that the driveway be off-street parking driveway, and it be oversized in terms of the requirements. It'll be bigger than what is required, so that
So it is going to have a driveway.
there's going to be a driveway. In addition, they're going to guarantee to maintain or improve Brayton Street so that it's a minimum of 20 feet in width in front of this property. So there'll be no reduction, and probably some supplementation depending on what the final engineering shows, so that Brayton Street is going to be protected in its width as the lot is developed. There is a significant elevation change in the rear of this property. If you look on the back of proposed lot B, you'll notice that on the lot next door, there's a retaining wall separating the two properties. It's a real limitation as to what else we could do on this particular lot. There's no gradual grade here. It's an actual cement retaining wall, and that's going to limit the property. So essentially, we're asking to construct a single-family home in a single-family neighborhood. It has enough area, meets all the setbacks. It just is lacking in this one dimension, which is lot depth, and that's really due to the way the lot was designed and the orientation of the lot as it was installed. In other words, there's plenty of room, it's that the house is gonna be facing the wrong way. So I made promises to the court reporter that I wouldn't go on, and that I would speak slowly, and I want to keep at least one of those promises.
Okay.
So
The
I'll,
only question I have is, Al, do we have to do the cards and the exhibits, and we didn't do that, he just generally came right up and spoke,
We've got it.
we're all set?
They were marked as part of my exhibits.
Okay, okay, that's just more housekeeping than anything.
Yeah, they were marked, I've marked them already as
Okay.
exhibits.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
Just
Fire away, Pete.
just clarification. In your narrative that you provided to us, page 1, item 3, as you stated just moments ago, you're going to remove the existing garage and shed, which I'm glad it's here. That's not indicated on your plan. The garage is indicated, garage will be raised, but I just want to bring to your attention and the board's attention that that shed is probably not according to code now, and
Probably
I
grandfathered
would
in.
ask to have it either raised or moved, but it can't stay where it is
Well,
now.
you taking it down?
agreed,
down the shed?
yeah, that's,
On his narrative, it says it's coming down.
that's, the document you're referring to is the actual planning board decision. It's not something that I
Okay,
produced.
well, again,
So they've placed that requirement, and we've agreed to that requirement.
okay, well, again, it's not indicated on your map, that's why I'm
Right.
bringing it up. Secondly, again, that you said somewhat quickly that the size of the property, the size of the building on the application itself, 46 by 24-26. On your map, it calls for a 24-foot width building. Are we staying with the 24? Because we don't like variables at a zoning board.
Well, then I would respectfully ask for 26 then. I put 26 on the application, there is sufficient room to not affect the rear line setback to go to 26,
The back setback, Al, needs to be 20?
20.
Okay, it's 24 now. Yeah, I don't have a problem with
No,
that.
because it meets it already.
So it's gonna be recorded as a 46 by 26 house, correct?
Yes, and, you know, if it comes out shorter, that'll be agreeable to all.
Because he got bad as the builder.
Those are all the
Make sure he
questions
knows-
that I
Make sure
have.
he knows that.
Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Yes.
Fire away.
Why are we doing this? Splitting this lot up?
Just to construct a new home.
Who's the home for?
It's gonna be commercially sold or rented.
Okay.
And you're taking the old one down. You're gonna take the old house down and build a new one.
No,
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 no.
no.
No, splitting the lot and having two homes.
It's a subdivision of lot. Would that be a correct statement?
That's right, yes.
And which forms the zone of R6, which is a 6,000 square foot lot.
Right.
Which this is more.
Alan, anything else?
I guess would like clarification as to how, one of the hardships, I guess the relief you're seeking is that it's not for, not primarily to realize greater financial gain. Could you speak to how this is not to realize greater financial gain by splitting this lot and selling it?
Sure. So it's,
I still get confused on that.
yeah, well,
So does the court.
I think, so this is a lot that is a buildable lot in area, size setback, street frontage, and every other way for a single-family home. So to request to build a single-family home on it is not to ask for an increase in financial gain or anything like that. If I was asking to place a multifamily home in an R6 zone or something like that, I would consider that to be a request based on an increase in financial gain. This is an area of land that can support a single-family home. That's what we're proposing to put in there to deprive them of the use of this area of land which otherwise conforms would be a hardship. So that, I'm not asking for more than what they would be allowed under the zoning regulations, with the exception of the lot depth. And so that's how I see that, Mr. Horvath, in the sense that we're not asking for increased or enhanced financial value, just what's provided for by the zoning ordinance.
Alan, I think to try and follow up on that, and the court decisions are tough to follow. Basically, as I interpret them, what they're saying is that if you, in general, have a right to do what you're seeking, and you happen to get some financial gain from it, it's okay. If you are doing it, and I will give you an example of a situation where a two-family house is not allowed, and you are coming in for a variance for the sole purpose of a two-family house to rent, the Supreme Court is saying you are doing that for financial purposes. If you have the right to subdivide and you happen to get some financial gain from it, that's okay. I don't know, I have trouble with the rationale, but that's as close as I can come to what the Supreme Court has said.
Okay.
If he's finished, you're on deck.
If I may just add one quick item to that. The lot is fairly square as you're proposing it. It's 89 by 70. If we were looking to have that 100-foot item to stay, that they would not even have to be here tonight, the other dimension of the lot would only be 60 foot. So I would consider that by putting this building there, it's probably be a better place of having a 70 by 89 lot, much more squared off, than 100 by 60. One of the dimensions that you also have to consider is the other lot is also 70 feet wide. So
It's an odd lot. It's definitely
you're
an odd lot.
concurring exactly to what is there as part of the variance of the 100 feet.
Where is the house built? The existing structure, where is it built? You know that, Rick?
Do you know what year the house? I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I don't have the answer to that question.
That's what I'm trying to get at, it's probably before, it probably predates zoning.
Oh,
it was
I'm
there.
I'm sure of that, yes.
It was-
Probably predates zoning.
It was there when I was a kid, and that's before zoning.
Okay.
Easy, Al.
Okay. Just kind of my point, that in this day and age, you have to have 100 by 100. In fact, that, before zoning came aboard, it's a little different animal. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, you still got the floor.
Still got it. I have another concern that, obviously, this is, there's a, residential area, a bunch of different types of buildings there. My concern is that adding an additional house is going to contribute to increased density in that area, which is already very well built up. I'm not sure if there's any neighbors that are going to have that concern or speak or, be worried about the additional density and the impact that's going to have on the surrounding homes.
Well,
But I do have that as a concern as well.
sure. I think the area, I mean, it's a densely populated area, but it's in an R6 zone, and that is a densely, it's designed to be densely populated. I do think the traffic is, I believe from my impression that the traffic is the issue, and we've attempted to provide assurances as best, we're able on the lot to enhance the off-street parking and ensure the width of the paved street is not compromised in any way. As far as the addition of a home, it is already a very densely populated area. I don't feel like one additional house would have a significant impact, but that's certainly a matter of opinion.
Right.
You're up, Dustin, if you want to.
I think I'm all set.
I'm not saying you are, Rick, you're still in there too, man.
No, it's okay. You guys have pretty much discussed everything, so.
I got it.
It's good to be on the end. You guys make all the comments before I get to it.
Are you finished for,
Yes.
okay, you can have a seat. I guess we have somebody else who wants to have a comment.
State your name and address, please.
Name is Michael Miller, 44 Woodside Avenue. Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R. I'm here on behalf of my daughter, who is the home
Would you raise your
owner.
right hand?
Excuse me?
Would you raise your right hand? So I tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. I'm here on behalf of my daughter, who can't make it. She's working this evening. In previous meetings, she was on vacation. All right, so we missed the opportunity to meet and speak. So I just have a couple concerns, and is my time to speak, or?
You fire away.
All right, good.
You got the mic.
All right.
Mike has the
So I understand that this potentially is an additional single-family home, potentially could be a rental. Not your intent, but the original home there today is a rental? Correct. Okay, and this is the property adjacent to it, which is similar, 70 by 90. Within, we own the wall, which he is speaking about.
Oh, down the hill, as I call it down.
No, we are
Okay.
adjacent to him on Main, we're 1026 Main Street,
Oh, okay.
All right.
You're on lot 34.
lot 34. Okay, so one of the concerns is my daughter's improving on that home, and she's about to do the driveway, which is a significant driveway, being affected by that wall. My concern is continuing growth or disruption of that land, and I'm glad I heard about the elevation concerns, would potentially disrupt that retaining wall. I'm here to say I'm here to work with you. I would like to see that there are improvements on that property, where there are large trees today that none of us were here when they were planted, that are currently uprooting that driveway. Current property today could use improvement on its maintenance. So I'd like to see the second land improve on that also. So
Are you referring to the existing house?
the existing home there, which was known as the McCarthy home, okay?
Okay.
All right, so, and this home would, I'd like to see, I understand the garage. I understand you're gonna split the lot. Looking at my daughter's property, I'm assuming that's the 26-foot offset that you're speaking of? To the side of the property?
It's a 24 by foot, 24 offset. It would be a 22.
I have
To the retaining wall.
an additional copy of the map. Would you mind if I provided it to the witness?
No, that'd be good.
Yeah, thank you. Great.
Just for clarification, Mr. Miller, your daughter's lot is below the applicant's lot,
Adjacent to it,
but is it below in elevation?
Above it.
Above it.
above it, as we noted by the retaining wall.
Is she on
Well,
Brayton,
it
is she
would
on
be-
Brayton or is she on?
She's on Main Street,
She's on Main.
yes.
Well, it'd be, sir, it'd be somewhat of your obligation if you're looking for a retaining wall to be,
We own the,
Extend
we own the retaining wall
I
today.
understand that. And
Yeah.
if you want to extend it, because you're on the higher side, it would be your responsibility to extend it.
I don't choose to extend it.
Okay, well, to,
It's not me that would have to elevate my property. His is going to rise, I'm under the impression. His elevation is gonna
Are
change.
you across the street?
I'm adjacent to the home. If you're in,
Okay.
if you're familiar with the Holmes restaurant, Holmes family building, that's their home.
and your daughter's lot
Let's work
goes
together.
back the full distance of,
All the way to the mill.
Distance is 104, 193. Your daughter's lot is 193 feet deep. Yes.
Yeah, because the garage is back.
That's where the garage is, and this shed is right adjacent to my garage. So
Right.
they are a mirror image, in my opinion.
That's coming down.
That garage, the
shed is coming
the metal shed is coming down, correct. Right. So my concerns with the elevation change, there's already stress on that retaining wall from a tree on his property today, damaging that wall.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that any improvements to what he's going to do would also include repurposing that wall or repairing that wall to prevent any further damage, because there's a concrete and brick garage adjacent to that shed that you're talking about that's gonna come down.
I'm just curious. That's usually a matter that would be provided under the planning board,
It's not the building office.
the building office, and from a planning board decision. Is this going before planning already?
It's Receive,
Oh,
ma-
yeah, master
it's receive
It's
master
already
plan.
It's already received the master.
Receive master plan, subject to zoning, to go back for
Back
final,
to planning after this.
for final.
I would suggest, sir, if the board approves it, you go back to planning board and give your recommendations to the board for that, for their consideration.
Sure. I just need them duly noted so we can work together
Yeah.
and, you know, get through this. All right. Duly noted?
Duly noted.
Thank
That's
you.
what they do.
Close discussion. Mr. Chairman, I move we close the public hearing.
Anybody else?
Anybody else in the audience, any other commentaries, questions? Hearing none?
I'll second that.
Okay, let's do fire away style.
What?
You can read it, go ahead.
Motion to approve, subject to various standards.
Yeah, yes, so moved.
Second? I'll second.
He
yes.
seconded.
Oh.
I'm going to give affidavit first. Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
my intent to be voting in favor of the applicant. With everything being noted, our town born in 1913, ordinances come about in the mid-50s, early 60s. This building, these land, West Warwick has a tremendous amount of situations like this.
Predated, yep.
Part of our job to control and support any and all legal matters regarding this property in interest of the abutting properties and in the interest of the applicant. For all reasons that the councilor brought to our attention, this does meet present square footage requirements. The setback is the only thing that is on our agenda for variance. The setback of the existing property of 70 feet wide almost gives us that platform, almost gives us the blueprint that, in my opinion, is needed to approve this application.
Mr. Chairman, just a point, comment that Mr. Calci made about when that was built, and I know Mr. Boyer is here in the audience, and I can tell you when it was mentioned, the McCarthy House, Mac McCarthy, who was the director of athletics back in
The name of the field of the field?
yes,
Yeah,
in the,
absolutely.
he lived there in the 50s at the latest, so he was there back in the 40s, that house existed. At its, at least then.
I graduated with his middle son. Old guy.
Want a roll call?
Anyone else want to give any?
And you stated all the reasons there, Budway.
Are you good?
All right, Bob. Are you obligated to, in fact, give the board's intention, the voting members' intentions?
That's sufficient.
Okay.
All right, Peter Kowski?
Yes.
Alan Horrick?
No.
Michael McPhillips?
Yes?
Justin Puccio?
Yes.
And Richard Nate?
Yes.
Petition approved.
Thank you, and thank you again for your courtesy. Appreciate it.
Better than you than John.
And it is for financial.
Now, if you want to see crowded, go to Prospect Hill Avenue where my properties were.
Okay.
That's crowded.
Moving right along.
Stuff, are they? They're not shoe
Yeah, actually, they are up on top of Prospect Hill.
Next on the agenda, petition number 9, 2018-6, Raymond Braddock. Owner of the same premises, 113 Harding Street, plat 20, lot 841, zoned R8. Proposed use, the applicant is seeking a special use permit for a 40 by 26 addition with a 780 square foot accessory family dwelling unit above in a 24 by 24 attached garage and deck under section 5.6.16, section 10 of the zoning ordinance of the town of West Warwick as amended.
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
I have marked as exhibits, exhibit number 1, the application, exhibit number 2, the abutters list, exhibit number 3, the radius map, exhibit number 4, the site plan, exhibit number 5, the construction plans, exhibit number 6, the tax collector's report, exhibit number 7, the zoning certificate, and I've just been handed the green cards, which I will mark as exhibit number 8.
We're always happy when they show up. You have the floor.
Okay, I'm Karen Perry. I'm here on behalf of Ray, who's sitting in the audience.
Okay.
As
Do
mentioned.
you have to be sworn in?
Yes.
Oh,
Would you raise your right hand?
yes.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
Karen Perry.
Pare, P-A-R-E. As mentioned, my client is here seeking a special use permit in a house that he's lived in for over 30 years. He's also a veteran, and he's on remission from suffering from some cancer. And his son and his son's family is going to be moving in. So the accessory dwelling is for Ray to live in, while his son and his son's family lives in the existing house. The design of the unit, they are connected. It is designed, mostly, it meets all the in-law requirements, but in this area, it also qualifies for a two-family, so it meets both qualifications. This lot is over 18,000 square feet. This is an R8 zone. An R8 zone, you need 12,000 for a two-family. He doesn't require any dimensional setbacks. He meets the square footage on the land use. So the only reason we're here tonight is because it requires a special permit for the two dwellings.
Mr. Chairman, can I, just for point of clarification, you've mentioned twice a two-family dwelling. Is your application for a multifamily building to go there?
It's
If
not
it is, I haven't seen anything.
No, it's an accessory dwelling.
Okay, can we
It's
just call it that, please?
Okay.
For clarification of the board?
Okay,
Yeah, that gets
yes.
to be that gets to be a little dicey, that word.
Oh,
Okay,
fine, fine, understood.
thank you.
It is an accessory dwelling for Ray to move into. He-
Questions, comments? Getting
I have
yourself
a couple.
together?
Yes, I do.
I figured. While Peter's getting ready, does anybody else have any
General contractor,
questions?
That's me,
rise above construction,
that's me.
that's you. Is this a Class 1 survey?
There is a Class 1 survey in there.
Is this what you're referring to?
Yeah, this is not the survey, that's the survey.
Who provided the survey for you?
The survey was.
I know where it is. Just questioning. I'm not sure that well, it's not stamped, I'm not sure what it is. I don't think it qualifies for a Class 1 survey.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's a point of order.
So the
Karen,
original,
would I be correct that you are not a planner or a surveyor yourself?
I am not, but we did have the lot surveyed.
Okay.
Is that
Having
not,
the
is
lot
that,
survey.
This is the existing, this is showing.
Yeah,
the
that has nothing to do with all of the accessory buildings that you're looking to put on.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
The existing,
Right.
the
Listed.
existing survey, if you like. And this is done by, this is done by Mr. Mancini, land surveyor, professional land surveyor.
Do we have that document?
Mr. DeFury, do you have that submitted as?
Do we have that document?
I will submit it right now, if you don't have it in yours. I have 2 copies here, if you like.
I have. No, I do not have this.
I thought it said site plan on the list for submittal.
Yes, the site plan,
That's what they asked for, was a site plan. It didn't say it had to be class 1 at this time. They asked me for a site plan. So I submitted the site plan showing the addition. And we do have a survey.
Have you been, did you have to go to planning? Did you have to go to
No.
the planning board?
No.
Okay,
not for this. It just comes before you.
okay.
What's that, Al, I'm sorry?
This just comes before you, not planning.
Okay.
It's up to the board if they are willing to accept this. If this,
If I may, just, we'll put that somewhat on the back burner right now.
Let me take a,
well, do you want me to mark it as an exhibit?
let's, before you go on with any more questions, how about we take a look at this and
Yeah,
we can make a decision there, okay? How about we do that? We'll put that on the back burner for a second.
Generally, during construction, when we're submitting to the building department, we actually submit the class 1 survey at that point, showing the points of the new addition. So we're planning to do a new survey when the addition actually starts, but that one was the existing of the building.
Who did this?
It's right there,
Okay.
Mr. Mancini.
Okay, there you go, okay. Covered.
It was done in 2006, that one.
In this instance, the board is able to accept it late because it's a verification of plans that have already been submitted. It's not something new.
You say that was from 2006?
Yes. As mentioned, at the submittal process, they said they just needed the site plan and that,
But you weren't planning on building this in 2006?
no, that's when the owner had it done for another reason back then.
This shows an existing garage, okay, no, this one is too.
Yes, that garage will be removed.
Well, I'm just looking at both, the one prepared in 2006, June 13th, 2006, shows the existing garage somewhat being the same depth of the existing dwelling. When you present it to us in this application, taking down the existing garage is less than half the size of the existing dwelling. So,
There used to be an addition on this garage that has been removed.
okay, so this isn't correct as you see here now.
As of 2018, and it's 12 years ago that it was done.
I submit that I would not consider this. That's my recommendation. That being said, if I may continue? If anybody wants to go, they can go. Specific question for our solicitor. The size of a additional dwelling cannot be more than 50% of the existing house? Would that be an accurate statement?
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
And we are not.
Are you aware of that?
The accessory dwelling, the
Accessory
24 by 24 accessory dwelling on the above area where he's living is less than
50%.
50% of the house.
Did you
It's
say
the-
that he's living in the existing house right now?
He is, and his son is moving in with his family.
Okay.
Ex-
The
accessory-
dimensions that you just said is for 24 by 24, is for a new garage. The
Okay,
dimensions for the existing house is 26 by 37.
correct.
So if you take the square footage and divide it by half,
For a 3-story house he has. He says a bit, you know, it's, the house that he has is not small.
It's a pretty big house.
so you're including all the square footage on all
I
three
mean,
floors?
I follow the formula, there's a formula in the zoning that we follow to the T, so that we wouldn't have an issue with this.
Can you tell us that formula, please?
Pete, it's a pretty big house. Look at the house, man. The house is big.
I don't.
I
It's
know
a
that.
big house.
I know that. But is it meant to be, the blueprint of the house, or is it meant to be the total square footage of the existing house?
I would imagine it's total
Yeah,
square
I'd imagine
footage.
it's total square
I would
footage, as
imagine it's
opposed
total
to just
square
not
footage.
one, like, instead of taking the outside dimensions and
Yeah,
then figuring
take
it
the
out
total
that way.
square-
You've got multiple floors.
Yeah, definitely more.
Well, that's an excellent question. Square footage of the existing house, I believe, is not mentioned anywhere. It's not mentioned on the particular drawing where it shows the existing house and the 3 new sections of an addition, one of which is a 24 by 24 attached garage to another garage that is,
40 by 26.
well, actually, it's 52 by 26. 52 by
Yes.
26. The garage, the dwelling portion is 30 by 26. And then above part of the new garage, which in my estimation is, you're asking for to build additional garages that will fit approximately 7 to 8 cars. You're looking to put,
cars.
well, okay, 6 cars.
Ray has 2
Again,
vehicles.
a garage 52 by 26, and in addition to that, 24 by 24. So the total length,
That garage,
The garage is 30, based on this, correct?
the main
no,
garage,
no, that's the
The deck
dwelling
and
unit.
the garage would be
Garage
the
with the
52.
dwelling unit above. The whole garage,
40 by 26.
no, it's not.
52 feet to include the deck.
Well,
So the bottom-
you gotta look at other drawings.
The bottom garage, underneath, no, on the left, is 24 by 24. And then you get the other
40.
garage, the 4-car garage, which is
So the deck is coming out
45
here.
by
Yeah.
39.
Yeah, so
40 by 26 plus 24 by 24.
Yes. Those are the 2 garages.
So his son has 2 older children and a wife, and they all have vehicles, there's 4 vehicles, and Ray has 2 vehicles. And he's putting them in the garage because it's a cleaner, it's, you know, better setup to put them in the garage. Most people have, an average family has 4 vehicles. If you have 2 parents and 2 children these days.
A
I don't
question,
think we're,
something you stated about 3 stories.
yeah.
Where is the dwelling gonna be? The accessory dwelling?
The accessory dwelling, his accessory dwelling is attached to the 2nd level.
is the deck gonna be, is the deck,
No, he has a garage, so
okay.
Yes.
I'm confused now.
let's go first floor, garage level. The connection to the house, direct connection, is on the lower level at the garage, okay? There's a stairway that goes up.
Hold on a second, those things are not good for me, okay? They're not good for me.
That's
That's
not
why
a
I
direct
take
correction.
pictures, okay? And we have pictures of your house, okay? This is the side. Is it going over there? Is it going on this side where this is, or the other side?
It's on that side, but back, it's behind.
In the back?
Yeah.
In the back.
So that's, you're looking right here.
Dimensions on these elements too.
So what we did was set it back so it falls behind the house.
Okay.
It's not an intrusion on the
Yep,
street.
no,
I had missed that.
Um,
Looking at
his lot, if you notice on the site, it goes like this and then blossoms out. It goes out, it's wider.
Yeah, it gets wide, yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a big lot in the back.
Yeah, he's got a huge, and it abuts woods.
Yep. It's the long way from the house to the woods.
It's a long way, yes. So we set everything back to make it visually less intrusive on the street. And put the garages underneath. I mean, before they took down the other half of that garage, you know, that garage right now, it's not really being used, it's kind of falling down.
Yeah, I don't think you want to put a car in there.
No, but he didn't tear it down because he wants to come and do this, you know, other than that, he might have to do something different. I mean, his health is in jeopardy and his son's moved in, so.
So we have a family dwelling.
Is there-
Okay.
Is
Hold on,
there-
Pete, I'm not done with my line of questioning yet. The family dwelling, right, what is that gonna be? What's the dimensions of that? The dwelling, where the gentleman is gonna live?
30 by 26.
Okay, thank you.
It has just the basics in it.
I can appreciate that. 30 by 26. So
700
that fits in, so
780
that fits
square
into the
feet.
780 and the 800.
Yeah,
So that fits in,
yes.
okay? Can't be less than 400 and more than 800. So that fits. Okay? That fits.
Wait, what are you referring to?
The accessory dwelling, not the garage, the dwelling itself. where the
That's the
gentleman's gonna live.
maximum of 800 square feet.
Yeah, they're
But
questioning is 780. So they're within their rights to do that.
Isn't that based on partially the calculation of the existing dwelling? We haven't had that answer yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
It can't be.
If the existing dwelling is 900, half of 900 is
That-
450.
my-
So the 800 square feet is if you have a monstrous house.
My report stated that it can be no more than 50%. And then I stated in my report, while the documents submitted indicate an accessory family dwelling unit of 870 square feet, they do not indicate the square footage of the principal dwelling unit.
That's
It would
correct.
appear from the documents that if the principal dwelling unit is a two-story dwelling unit, that the square footage of the accessory dwelling unit would be less than 50%. However, this is not indicated. So, from the documents submitted, I was unable to determine that. Also, in my report, I had a problem with direct ingress and egress. And finally, there was no information regarding separate connections to the utilities.
Right, and there also seems to be an issue, Karen, if you may,
I'm done for now.
I believe that the existing building needs to be, you need to have access from the existing building to the additional family dwelling.
It's gotta be direct access.
You don't have that.
Through
You
the
go
basement.
from the basement now? Okay, is any of that in here, or are we just gonna
It's
tell
on
us
the
things as we're going? No, what you have here is it goes from the existing house onto the deck and into the building.
And in the basement, it doesn't say, in the basement.
Well, show me
here's the
where it says in the
existing-
basement.
Right here,
Okay,
existing house into, right here in the garage, it has the stairs that goes to his.
okay,
place.
so what you're telling the board, if I may try and repeat it, from the basement of the existing house, going through the basement into the new 40 by 25 garage, and then how do you get from the garage up to,
The stairway.
you go outside the stairway,
Well,
it's inside the garage.
It's inside the garage.
a stairway inside the garage?
Yeah, it's not going.
But then the
the other
plan,
thing,
plan-
when I say basement, that is actually the first, that's
yeah, but the
ground
plans
level
look like
of
the
the house.
outside.
It's not really
Because you see that
The
door.
under the house, it's not like a basement, that's ground level of the house.
Well,
And
you
it's the same.
provide some beautiful pictures, but there's nothing on here about elevation, Karen.
You go
So
outside.
I'm not sure how we're supposed to determine this before this meeting. It's utterly lacking. I circle the entrance or the exit from the basement of the existing into the garage. But how is this board supposed to know this? Eventually, it's gonna go up to the...
Do these go up?
I don't think that's what the,
Okay. This is the lower level of the house. This is the front of the house. The lower level and the garage are on the same. First floor, there's a second floor, and then there's a third floor in this house. It's in that garage that I showed you the door, which goes through this garage.
there's three living levels in that house?
Yes, that's
Three living levels. Now, you're not including the basement.
It's not it's a first floor. It's literally the first floor.
What's on the first floor? Is it a kitchen?
No, kitchen, bathroom, living room,
Okay.
and a bedroom.
Is there a basement beneath that? Okay.
Mr. Couch, if I might interrupt, to get this access straightened out, what I'm looking at is you go out of the living room onto a covered deck, across to a stairway.
But there's another floor.
That's from the top floor.
That's the top.
She's saying there's a
Yeah.
basement.
But what I'm saying is, when you go up the stairs, you gotta go across the deck and into the unit.
No,
This,
this is the stair, this is, goes right into the garage.
that's right. So you come up the stairs from the garage, when you get to the top of the stairs,
No, I
you go across the covered deck on the outside, and then you go in.
Yes.
You can't do that.
Existing house, it doesn't say this.
You're gonna have direct access, not outside and inside.
Access to new family dwelling.
Does it actually say what your definition of
Direct
direct access is? Is there clarification on the direct access?
Yeah, from here to the wall, it's
Absolutely.
No,
direct
there
access.
should be a clarity, a definition. Direct access could mean your interpretation, that's a direct access for me. That's a direct access for someone. So,
How much of a direct from point A to point B, from the exit of the existing first level of the house, which is on a cement slab, I would think, going into the garage, which would be on a cement slab, through that door, and wherever it's gonna be, is that a 30 or 40-foot run, and then going outside, and then up another stair, and then on a deck, and then from the deck, another 20 feet inside, 30, 45, 65 feet? I would call 65 feet is not a direct entrance.
Well, when you, my point is, if you're inside and you gotta go outside and then back inside,
It's not direct.
that's not direct.
I don't care if it's up, down, sideways, 65 feet is not a direct entrance. Not in my opinion.
So,
Could I ask the applicant, or the representative, one other question? Does the applicant own other property nearby this piece of land?
no,
Is there another piece of property owned by a family member there?
Ray?
I don't know. I don't know who Ray is or who Ray isn't.
Ray Braddock owns that property, and,
Is there another,
no, he just owns that.
He's the sole owner of the property.
direct access.
I'm
Yes.
not talking about
That's
that
right.
property, I'm talking about an adjacent property nearby.
No,
No, once you go outside,
There's another homeowner next door at the end.
Yes.
Where the property line ends, there's another homeowner, right?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, but it's kind of down a little bit, it's not on top of each
My
other.
grandfather used to own most of that land over there, and
go
I have
outside.
lots of relatives that still own
I don't care
property
if
over
you
there,
go-
so
if
that's
that
basically
hallway is
it.
outside,
That,
you only
okay.
have to test
That's fine, but there's a,
You've left the
in the
premise.
back, there's a,
In the back, there was a proposed subdivision years ago, I don't know whatever happened to that, for 6 lots.
I know why I'm bringing this up, I'm sorry. If you look on the front, RA Rise Above is your
Yes,
company. You're at 112 Harding.
yes,
This is 113 Harding.
it's right across
So
the
this is
street.
adjacent or next to or
Across
across
the
the
street.
street from your property. So when, I just thought of it when you said that your family owned a good part of that property with many years. Okay.
All right,
And
so,
Mr.
go ahead.
Brad, right?
Brad Ray,
He's gonna be the gentleman, he would be the gentleman living in the new development.
yes,
The gentleman who is sickly
yes,
is gonna, and the brother would live.
His
in
son.
The son, I'm sorry, the son, would be living in
yes,
the
his,
existing property
with his family, yes.
with his family. But the person who is gonna be living in the accessory would have to go outside to get back in.
Yes.
The long and short, a lot of testimony we had.
I mean,
But
we-
he would have to go out of the building, the existing building, to
Yes.
get to the accessory dwelling.
From the bottom.
Come on up, Phil, come on up.
Please state your name and address.
Phil Perry, P-A-R-E, 112 Harding Street,
Swear to
West
tell the
Warwick.
truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do. On that enclosure, we're building a deck on the second floor. Underneath that, there's gonna be an enclosure going from the garage up to the cellar stairway. It's a door right there already. We're just gonna enclose that so he can go directly into the house. From his garage, he comes down and goes into that area. The reason being is upstairs, there'd be a bedroom up there, we would have to put a door in or something to get into the regular house, the regular floor. So we couldn't do that, and the rear is the bathroom right there on the corner. So we designed it so we could put an enclosure under the deck.
Yeah, he's just saying.
Where you'd come
I mean,
out.
if they,
Where you come out from the garage, and you walk in a hallway, right up to the other door, going into the basement with the existing door.
Come here for a second. Out that door? Out that door right there? And then put an enclosure on top of that?
No,
you're on the
Not
back.
that one?
He's on the
It's in the
back
rear.
side.
Oh, it's in the rear, okay, in the rear of the property. Okay.
We're gonna do a deck above it, in the rear.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, he's gonna come in his garage, he's gonna park in his garage, he's gonna come through this house to go,
Yeah, there's
go
no
up,
door
there's a
right
door
there.
connecting here, and he can go in two ways. He can go in this, out that stairway, or he can go in through his house.
Okay, so by what you say, you wouldn't have to go outside to go inside?
So there's
Okay.
two entrances, which is
You'd
what,
have so you'd
which
have
is
your
what
two
the-
entrances. You'd have your egress and your ingress, okay.
Yeah, two entrances.
Okay.
It's
That's a
whatever
different
one he
animal.
chooses to use.
No, we looked at it, we didn't want him to walk outside or
course not.
either one.
Doesn't make any sense.
That's why I don't.
well, I think that's where we're coming up with the direct or indirect.
And again,
Well, I
you
mean,
know,
that'd be, to me, that'd be more director. If you're building
you're
an
staying
enclosure,
inside,
at least you're
enclosed,
inside the house. You're not
you're
going
walking
outside to
through
go
a
back inside,
Mudroom,
which
hallway,
I don't think
whatever
you'd
you
want to do
call
in the
it.
middle of January, or the middle of February, the middle of December.
yeah. And his house was a finished basement. Originally, that house was built, that was a kitchen and living area
Go
on
on.
the basement.
Okay.
And then they had another kitchen on the next floor. There were dining kitchens and they had two kitchens. They cooked downstairs.
Can I ask you a question quick?
Please do.
Okay, so I understand exactly what you're saying, and it makes sense, and I think the clarification you just made to us makes sense. I think the problem we have is I don't see that on the
On the
plans.
plans. That's not on
So
the
that
plans.
second entrance, we're not seeing, and we're only seeing the one, and if we're reading it wrong, I apologize, but all we see is that entrance that makes you leave the home to come back in.
To go back in again.
So if there's gonna be that additional one, we all have one, it's okay.
I did shut it off.
I always think I shut mine off too, no worries. But we don't see that on the plan, that,
Yeah, we don't see that, Phil.
We see the door on the lower level, one there, which is in a deck above that level. You know,
but we don't see the built
Well, we
enclosure.
don't see the built enclosure, though. That's, or a staircase. That, we don't see that on the plans.
Yeah.
Mike,
Yes,
This is it right here.
seeing what you see, as I explained,
We can't see the
Can you
door
ask
in the
for,
elevation.
a linear footage from point A to point B?
This is the enclosure underneath. The door is right there. You put a window right there, this is the deck.
Okay.
This goes out from upstairs onto the deck.
Show that to that man after.
What page was he just, did you know what page it
He
was?
was on the elevation one.
This is the back elevation, okay?
Let's see.
Yep.
I think it was A6.
Front elevation, proposed garage.
A6.
Left
The door
side.
is,
Inside of that room.
See A6?
A6?
A6,
this
yeah.
is part, this is part
So
of the
he's
garage,
saying
correct?
No.
That if you look at
Coming from the garage,
this
you
area,
Garage,
got a door that goes out of here.
this area right here, he's saying that this is the
this is
I
part
see
of
with
the
the
new
window.
addition with the window.
and inside there.
Insurance construction.
This is the new
So
addition.
down here, garage house.
Right up to here is the garage.
I got you. So right here, you would exit this existing building, come down
This
here.
is the
come in
garage
here.
area.
All right, it just,
Going back,
we don't, the inside.
Yes, you wouldn't even know there's a door
So
there.
you have, so you're saying have some kind of.
On the inside of this section right here.
Like a 4 by 3 closet.
And then there's a door there that
There's
goes
a door
into the
into
house.
that
So let me
house.
ask you this.
That's not many. That's not
And
many.
so how do
We
you,
couldn't approve it based on what we
They might not have documents back in 1922. You know what I'm saying?
And to walk up.
If they show it
Into this area.
and you
this is what needs to
And we
be changed
understand,
here.
but it has to conform to what we see during inspection.
This is on here, but
but how do you get from the house to that area?
existing house, this is the door that you're talking about from the garage, going directly into the house.
And the house ends over here.
I understand how you get from the garage to get into your existing house.
I got you, I got you.
How does the existing house make access and entrance to the new family dwelling?
Got it.
Through that entrance or
Through this entrance, then outside, then up the stairs
No,
and
not
then in?
outside. Not outside.
He's asking how you're gonna get to, you're asking how you're gonna get to the accessory, correct?
That's correct. From the existing house,
She can't have that many people talking.
Yeah,
I'm still looking for an
Mike,
explanation.
Mike,
A lot of people wonder.
Mike, everybody back, one person at a time.
Mr. Chairman, if I may address you,
Yep.
so why don't you just take a seat for a moment, or just,
So that's the.
so that we can have yeah, that's yours, sir.
We're looking principal.
My question is, I understand what this gentleman just said, and I have no problem
Your
with that.
explanation that it was.
But again, how do you go from the existing dwelling to the new additional family unit? If you go through the unit, through the house, and through the lowest level, you're gonna go into the new garage.
No,
I understand that.
I don't know.
But that, I don't know where that would go on how you would enter the existing the new additional
Yeah,
family
the-
unit
the
from the garage.
Accessory dwelling.
So-
On the top side,
There's
top
a
side,
stairway that goes
you
up.
can see on this map, existing house, but this is now a higher floor. The map doesn't tell you that, but we know now this is for the above floor, as an entrance
What
going
if we
out
took this and
to
put
the
it on
covered
this
deck.
side? What if we took this and
and
moved
then
it
the
on that
covered
side
deck
of the
would go
house?
into the additional family unit.
Right.
That's how I see it.
Mr.
If there's something else that I'm missing, please,
A question was asked to me as legal counsel of an explanation apparently has been given to some board members explaining an interior direct access that does not show on the plans.
so there's no
Question-
doorway showing?
Well,
There's no
From,
stairway
from,
showing?
from the plans, when I submitted my report, I saw no interior direct access.
As you've indicated.
Apparently, description has been given that some of the board members feel they are aware of the description of an interior direct access, which is not shown. My answer,
Okay, I'll let him.
my answer to them was that in any decision they make, or facts they find, they must make it clear that they are basing their decision of direct interior access upon testimony given, because there is no direct interior access shown on the plans, which is required by the zoning code.
If I may have someone expand their explanation, taking that as a given for this purpose of conversation, how much of a linear walk would it be using your explanation of where this doorway that doesn't show, down or up this stairway that doesn't show? What's the linear length of that? From
From the
existing
garage,
building
from in-
to additional family unit?
Oh, I'm gonna say about 12 feet
From the garage.
from the garage out to that area. You're walking 12 feet.
Yes.
But you're exiting the garage to do that?
Yeah, you're entering through the.
Yeah, so
To the enclosure.
what was explained to us was
There's
how
an
to get,
enclosure that's gonna be?
was how to, but that was,
It is
the
an
enclosure was
So
only,
One person at a time.
the enclosure, from what was explained, from what I'm understanding, is that that was to get from the proposed garage into the principal dwelling that's there existing now, not to get into the accessory dwelling.
Is that, what he's saying, is that true? That's
That
a
en-
very good
that en-
question.
that enclosure that you're speaking of
Yeah.
would get you from the garage that you're planning to build
Correct.
into the principal dwelling,
And there's gonna be.
not into the accessory.
it's
The
gonna be-
accessory, you would have to exit the back of the garage, go up the stairs, get on the deck, and then enter through
No.
the door?
No, there's gonna be a nice set of stairs inside the garage, so he can get into the garage and everything else.
So that, but that's not, those interior stairs aren't shown on the map. Okay, so that's,
And to clarify, I'm the one that asked that question to Al.
Good question.
If it's not shown on the plans, if we were to move forward with it, could we give an explanation as to what we would expect? So,
Is that a stipulation potential, or is that, or, I'm asking our solicitor, is
It
that a
would-
stipulation potential, or is
It
that
would-
a
If-
zone, building official situation?
No, that's a stipulation. Let me say that, from what I'm understanding now, is that if you're in a second floor accessory dwelling unit, you go down an interior set of stairs into a garage, and then from the garage, you go into the, so you are inside at all times.
Yes.
If the board, I'm not saying whether that is satisfying, if the board felt that that testimony overrides the plans that were submitted and is willing to accept the testimony, I would advise the board very, very strictly to make that a detailed stipulation that it must be totally interior with no exterior access.
That's not a problem,
On board with that?
yeah. It'd be, from the inside stairway, in the, garage, to get to the garage, to go right in.
How many stairs does this gentleman have to go upstairs to his dwelling? That's just a kind of a curiosity question. What's that? In lieu of an elevator, how many stairs would this gentleman have to go up?
Just one set.
4 or 5?
About 12 steps.
About
We're
12,
gonna do a
13 steps.
landing. Yeah, we're doing the
A normal
landing,
step to a second floor.
halfway up and with a landing, then going up the opposite way.
Okay.
He's doing it now. I mean, you know, he's going there to live, be close to his son, to take care of him, and that's what it's all about.
No, I understand. I 100% get the reasoning.
And the reason the son is giving him the new plot is because the son needs a space. He's got kids and that, and he's got 4 bedrooms upstairs, in the old house.
Okay. Can you show that gentleman what you showed me before for the square footage?
Oh, yes. So
Just another clarification.
No clarification. I want this lady to show you that before you go any further.
Well, she can show me whatever she wants to, but I choose not to have her do that, Mr. Chairman. Just for clarification, who is going to be living in the additional dwelling?
Mr. Braddock, in the new
Right.
addition,
Yes.
Mr. Braddock himself.
Okay, is that indicated here?
yes,
Yeah, that is definitely indicated.
it was the first statement I said as well.
That's why I was curious how many stairs.
Yeah.
In lieu of an elevator.
Well, I didn't think, honestly, that was the case because of the man's condition. But I didn't necessarily realize that there seems to be 3 full floors in the existing building. So the caretaker is going to reside in the existing building.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
If you could, you can please show me what the chairman was referring to.
The square footage of 2 floors in that building is 1,924. That's for 2 floors. If you add the third, it's 26 by 37 feet, the existing building.
Well, I don't think that the third floor has the same square footage as the first and second floor. Would that be
That's why I
accurate
gave-
by looking at the drawings of the slanted roofs and whatnot?
That's why I gave you just.
It'd be
explained that.
probably close to 2,000 square feet.
Yeah, so you get, so for the accessory dwelling, you have less than 50% and you have less than 800 square feet.
I'd like to,
For
I'll
that,
put Al
for
on the
that line
spot
of
for a minute.
questioning.
Are you satisfied with their determination of the square feet of the existing building and of the multi-floor being a consideration for the 50%?
The total square footage of the primary residence,
All floors added?
yes. That's the way the ordinance reads. It's the total. What is on the third floor?
Bedrooms.
Bedrooms, 4 bedrooms.
Then it's part of the
With
primary.
some slanted roofs,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't have the full square footage.
Yeah, it's-
But it's well over
Still well
2,000
over.
square feet.
Yeah. The ordinance just speaks of the square footage of the primary residence, so.
Right, but if it gives a maximum of 50%, we have to have a determination of what the existing building is.
Yeah, I mean, if,
Yeah, but even if it's 1,900, you're less than that.
Do you have a copy of the tax assessor's records
They
that were
can-
submitted?
they can add that by testimony.
But you're right, I believe it's on the tax assessor's report as well.
You must have it.
Kind of cut in half.
Yeah, it's only half.
Yeah, the notes, man.
Justin, we can bring the taxes.
Al, I'm gonna leave that to you. You know where that'll go.
Peter, do you have are you looking for an answer to a question at the present time?
No, I'm not.
Do you have a question? Did you have a question that we're trying to find an
I
answer
have
to?
one final question, yeah, but I want to give everyone. That's the law.
How you doing on tape? How you doing on tape? Okay.
Does everyone get a shot to go before I ask for my last question?
Rick, anything else?
I still want a clarification, I guess, on the utility tie-ins.
I'll let Alan.
As far
I
as
do
the
have-
utilities,
You can't have separate utilities.
they
So
cannot have separate utilities.
All the utilities reside off of here. The sewer line is right where the garage is, on the side of the garage that's existing. Which is tie into that. The sewers, the running water, we get off his house, bring in there. The electric is going to take off his house.
So no separate meters and no
No
separate.
separate meters or nothing.
He's next.
Actually, I'm good. I'm good. I got the answer in my hand already.
Oh, okay.
I got it from previous questions.
Justin?
I'm good.
I was just going to mention one other thing. First and foremost, the reputation by your company is double AAA.
thank you.
I know good friends have had your services for many years, and I'm very aware of their satisfaction of a lot of the work that you've done locally in West Warwick. Last question. Why is there a need for that many new garages?
His son has children. He has 4 cars, and Ray has 2 vehicles.
Okay. gonna ask the same question again, because I'm not sure that that's the answer that I can believe in.
They're not going, his son is
Are
a,
they antique cars that you're looking for that
No.
much room for garages?
Couple of cars, you know, good ones, but that's it.
yeah, he has a couple of special vehicles, but he
Four
has,
cars.
he has his wife and him have a vehicle, and he has, his kids are adults, like not adults, but older.
Older than 21?
No, not older than 21, not yet. Not ready to move out yet.
Well,
The average family today, I mean, has 4 cars. I mean, I have 2
average family don't-
teenagers.
I know, but I don't think there's a house on West Warwick that even has, maybe 1 or 2 have a 3-car garage.
We have a 6-car garage across the street.
So, let's not get into that.
That's a different line of questioning for another day. Okay? Does
We went through zoning,
Mr.
we did it
Mr.
right.
Braddock still drive?
What? He still
Does
drives.
he still drive? Okay.
Yes, he has a truck and a car.
Okay, so he has 2 vehicles.
Yes.
That you're
He's
obvious-
not,
that
he's
you're
not
obviously
giving up
looking at the
his
garage.
mobility yet.
Oh, okay. Know how that goes. Al? Anything else? Do you reserve the right to ask more questions, or are you good?
I'll ask our solicitor, just to follow up. Is there any ordinance or anything restricting us from granting them a 5-car, 4 or 5-car
Not to my knowledge.
garage?
No, I think that,
As long as it cannot be used for business purposes?
oh, yeah, that's, yeah, but if you grant the garage and they use it for business purposes, it's no difference whether it's a 5-car garage or 1-car garage. That if you set up shop in a 1-car garage, it'd be the same thing.
How is
They're
this
not
owned?
mechanics.
Thank you.
Oh, they're not mechanics. His son does computer work. He's does
He's
other
looking to
stuff.
store them there. Get to and from work, come
Hey,
home,
That's
put them in the
I'm a
garage.
full believer in 4-car garages myself. That doesn't mean that my neighbors would like it.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
the garages are good for putting the lawnmowers in, 'cause you ain't gotta.
Phil, I agree with you 100%.
If I had the space you have, I'd have a 10-car garage. So,
It's a big,
Put
it's a
everything
big
in.
area.
Are the garages connected? The garages internally, is it all open or is there?
it's all open.
All
There's,
open.
so there's no internal wall
No.
separating them? Okay.
You have the square footage on the lot, 18,000 square feet.
Anybody else?
My biggest hangup, quite honestly, seemed to get clarified with the square footage of the existing house versus the square footage of the additional family dwelling. Thank you.
Guys, you all set?
Yes.
Any people in the audience who'd like to come up and have commentary, not commentary, say something, not say something? Great. I think that's a no. Closing, motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
second.
Okay.
Vote.
We're gonna get this, read it off first.
You gotta vote to close the public.
Okay, vote to close the public discussion. All in favor?
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Guys have it.
Motion.
Yeah, Pete. You wanna do it now?
Petition 2018-6, the applicant seeks a special use permit for the addition of a family dwelling unit above a 40 by 26 garage with an additional 24 by 24 attached garage for Raymond Braddock, 113 Harding Street. Seeks a special use permit for an accessory family dwelling unit. I make a motion that we approve that, subject to the special use permit stipulations, sections 5.6.16.16 through 5.16, 5.6.16.20. Do I have to read all those?
No.
Okay.
Does that include the enclosure?
Is there going to be
No,
a
it does
special
not.
stipulation regarding
Yes.
the Direct access.
Yeah, direct access, yes, there's a special stipulation that you will not
I-
have
I-
to leave the building
I will
to
add
get
that.
into the building.
Is that gonna be numbered 561621?
No, that's just the,
That's a separate
those are,
stipulation.
those are ordinance sections. I will add
We
the,
don't need a new ordinance.
no, I will add
Thank
the
goodness.
interior direct.
Second.
I'll second it.
Peter Kelsey? Want me to come back to you?
No.
Yep.
I vote yes, with the stipulation, with a very specific stipulation, because this is not going back to planning, correct?
Correct.
It ends here. Very specific stipulation that the entrances from the existing family dwelling to the additional family dwelling need to be interior only. No, not only, need to be interior. They can have an exterior entrance if, what the plan shows, but needs to be an interior dwelling specifically with stairs, egress, access, showing specifics.
By placing that stipulation in, it then becomes binding upon the building office that it must be followed through.
I vote yes.
Alan Hart?
I too will vote yes, and I am in agreement with the stipulation that Member Kelsey made regarding the ingress and egress.
Michael McPhillips?
I vote yes also, for the same reasons Peter gave and Alan gave.
Justin?
Well, I think it might be difficult for the gentleman to walk up 12 stairs. Good luck.
Justin?
I vote yes for the same reasons, as long as those stipulations are in place as well.
And Richard Hanks?
I vote yes, as long as those stipulations are followed and the access is interior.
Petition is approved.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Took some work, but we got there.
She needs to take a break.
Okay.
We all need to take a break.
Yeah.
Paula, do I pause this or do I stop it?
I just want to let you guys know that
Pause or
the
stop?
cameras are on, even though you guys talk up there, and we'll take care of that one.
You're on television, she says.
I know, I watched the council meetings.
So, you know,
Council meetings. Are we off now, or are we off camera now, or are we still on camera?
No,
Still on
everything's
camera.
way back. So you're gonna be good.
We're not gonna
behave.
talk about you.
No, no, no,
No more than,
It was nice.
no more than 3-letter words to be spoken.
She's so nervous.
We just talk a lot, that's all.
Oh my God.
You gotta make sure it's clear.
It's important stuff.
You guys come home and take a nap?
I'll take that before you come.
And his
You'll
an-
be fine.
and his
I'm just
annex.
kidding, you will.
If I start crying, don't hold it against me.
Paul,
Never.
respect to you, too.
Never, ever.
Be nice.
Okay, you must be Miss Bisignani. Is that the right, is that the right pronunciation? Bisignani?
Nice Irish name.
Very much, since it ends in a vowel. With a Mick in front of it. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, you know? Oh, wait a minute, I gotta read it out first.
Wait a minute.
I gotta read it out first. Thank you. Petition number 2017-7, applicant Carmelita Bisignani. Owner Thomas and Carmelita Bisignani. Premises 4 Boucher Street. Plat 13, lot 643, zoned R8. Proposed use, the applicant is seeking a special use permit for an accessory dwelling, second floor addition to consist of in-law apartment under section 5.6.16 of the zoning ordinance of the town of West Warwick as amended. Well, I think that gentleman has a commentary before you say anything. Okay?
Mr. Chairman, I have marked as exhibits, exhibit number 1, the application, exhibit number 2, the radius map, exhibit number 3, the abutters list, exhibit number 4, the zoning certificate, exhibit number 5, the tax collector's report, Exhibit number 6, the building plan, exhibit number 7, the site plan, and exhibit number 8, the green cards.
Here we go, I'd like to hear that. Come on up, Mrs. B.
I don't have an attorney.
I think he needs to swear you in, so you gotta
Could
put
you
your right
raise
hand
your
up
right
and all
hand
stuff.
and state your names?
Carmelita Bizignani?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Tell us what you wanna do.
Okay, well, my mother-in-law bought the house back in 1964, and we purchased the house back in 2001 because my sister-in-law and brother-in-law built a house with an in-law behind us. They got divorced a few years ago, and my mother-in-law is homeless, pretty much. So she's staying with her at her sister's house. So we're proposing to try to build up onto our existing home to, for her to live in.
Okay, so, hold on a second, Pete, before you get one question.
Okay?
I wanna ask first.
I thought the new,
No. Okay,
Cause he's really good with the,
yeah,
you
okay.
wanna go up?
We wanna go
and
up.
you wanna go up?
Just
On
up,
your
on my
dwelling?
home. We have a ranch,
Yep,
and we wanna just build up.
I'll give it right.
Yep,
You live at the corner.
yep, we're around the corner, we just wanna go up.
What's the dimensions again? Help me out, guys, what's the dimensions? What do you guys wanna do, what size?
It's pretty much the same length of the house, but we have an addition. It's not gonna go in back of the addition. I'm not sure, I don't have the exact square footage.
All right, Mr. Bach, Mr. Bizignani, you got the square footage that you guys gonna do?
I did
Let-
not.
Additional living space is 960 square feet,
Thank you.
40 by 24.
What's this, is your house 40 by 24?
It is.
So it's 50%.
Well, it's like 100%. It's
100%.
100%.
Yeah, that's right.
It is.
Yeah.
What you're looking to do is 100% of your existing house.
As
Well,
this
not really,
shows.
because we have the addition in the back, which we're not gonna build above the addition.
We're not
Are
building
you
above
talking
it.
about the sunroom?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not including the sunroom.
Ah.
960 square feet is what your ranch house is, and what the proposed, according to,
But it would look silly if we did half of it.
I don't think,
well,
the ordinance says you can't have more than 50%, right? Am I correct in that?
The existing,
Which we just went over for the past
Yeah.
45 minutes,
No, I got it.
and everybody got an education on it.
Okay.
So what if we went the length, like we're planning on, and my mother only has half of that?
Just do it the square footage though. The square footage is the
Well,
issue.
it'd be for us, the other square footage. For storage and stuff like that.
That, it would be permissible, however, they would have to come back with a set of plans. In other words, if
That would
they,
show it, yeah. I mean, because the situation you're running into right
that's
now,
what I did.
the situation you're running into right now is, your house is long,
Right.
but it's not high, right? So what you're looking to do is the whole length of the house.
Yes.
To add on for mom-in-law, right?
Yes.
But to go up.
Yes.
But the problem is though, that you can only, you can only have, if you're 960, you can only have 480 square feet, right? Something like that, 490.
But they could do
Well,
that.
No, go ahead. I know what you're saying.
I didn't think of it, but Al's absolutely right, or you're absolutely right. Just looking at the bedroom, the dimension of the bedroom in the new additional family dwelling is 12 by 11 and a half, 22, about 26 feet, just the bedroom. The kitchen has its own limitations, correct? I don't have that number in front of me, but your
it's gotta be
kitchen,
between 50 and 75 square feet.
right, I think I might have that
Yeah.
Excess
dimension
of that.
somewhere.
Yeah, that's
too.
It's
a
like-
common order.
the kitchen's like
Your kitchen
340.
has to be between 50 and 75 square feet.
Kitchen's 340 now?
20 by
thereabouts?
17.
Yeah, the kitchen can only be like 70 square feet.
why we fired our contractor.
Well, but that's why you're coming for us.
That's why we're
Because
here.
because that person may not know what the
And that's-
ordinances are. Okay, that's
About 20 by
why you're
17.
here.
Yes.
Okay.
You could do it.
Okay. Well,
We could help you do it, but not tonight.
About 20 by 12.
The document I just sent to you, since this would be a drastic change, unfortunately, they can't amend it. Basically what you
Like
have
we
to
did with the previous one, we can't just
No,
say
yeah, you gotta come back.
stipulation.
You'd have to come back. With a new, with a new set of, with a new set of drawings.
doesn't go to planning.
Right.
that's fine. Hey,
You
we're at the
you also
mercy
would
here.
need a second egress from the second floor, which I
And
don't
that's
think
another thing, that's-
your plan didn't show it
That's
either.
another, the,
I mean, I
Yeah,
can-
that you
I know
definitely
it's
need,
every-
you need
our
to, you need,
contractor took our.
yeah, you need a
Our
definite,
money and ran,
Really?
yeah,
Oh, man.
we're sorry to hear that.
it's all money,
I'm sure you are.
Actually, I did have another question while
Yes.
we're trying to help you here. but
yeah,
The new plan shows stairs going up from the door
yeah,
to there's a door between your garage door and the main part of the house.
Yes.
And there's stairs just after, that goes up to the second floor.
yes, it was.
Is there a wall there now?
There is a wall,
Do you have
yes.
stairs there now that's going up to
No,
the?
we have the
an
stairs,
attic
go down to
area?
our basement stairs, but there is a
Oh.
wall that goes up, you know what I mean? So what they
Okay.
would have to do is, there is a chimney, so they would have to reroute the heating.
So you
uh,
gotta
vent
reroute the
out.
stairs also, going the opposite way.
No,
Are the stairs going down from the back of the house forward?
no, inside, they're inside my house. Like if you're inside the.
So new stairs would pretty much go right
Right
above.
above
Above the
old-
stairs going down to the
Yeah.
basement?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna, that, you can do that, okay.
Yeah, and then there will be like a landing.
You have to have this has to be designed so that you can
Yeah, so
you can have the extra family dwelling separate.
Okay,
I would probably say on the left side of the house, looking at it from the street. And the entrance going from a family room. You don't have it above the garage, but they call it, an extra family bonus room. They call them bonus rooms now.
like above my son's, within my sunroom,
No, not above your sunroom. This is gonna be above your,
so I have to put stairs
above
above my.
where your front door is and and it looks like your living room. I don't think we
So-
have a drawing of the first. Yes, we do. It'll be above your living room, above your existing living room and kitchen now.
There would have to be a door.
Well,
With
that'd
stairs.
be an area for your family on the first floor
Yeah.
as a bonus room.
Oh, okay, I got you,
And then
okay.
from your bonus room, you could have an entrance going into, not upstairs, you're upstairs already.
Oh, okay.
You're upstairs already.
Oh, I
Going
know
up
what
the
you're saying, okay,
stairs,
okay,
Going up the stairs, going into the new second floor,
yeah,
bonus room first,
yes,
then an entrance going into your
Accessory.
Accessory dwelling.
accessible, yes. additional
That would keep
family
you
dwelling.
at the square footage without making the accessory dwelling greater than 50%
Right.
so she
downstairs.
gets no closet.
Well, no, my other.
You get a free
Closet-
So that's fine.
Closets you might want to include in your bonus area.
I can do that, okay. And then
The
just
bedroom,
a small.
the bedroom has to have a closet.
Yes,
High spec bedroom has to have a closet.
okay.
And, 500 square feet, you can have a nice apartment in there.
Yeah.
It's not crazy.
Do you have a piece of paper and pencil?
I do have a piece of paper, I grab a pen. Thank you.
Zoning code, section 5.6.16. That's what you have to follow. Mr. Chairman, what has to happen is because of the drastic changes, I won't say that they should make a motion to withdraw. They can't, they can't continue, because they have to give new notice, because it's gonna be a different plan.
That's your best bet.
So
Because
withdraw and then
if
we do the
vote
whole
on it, then you're
process
not
again?
opening back for a year.
Unfortunately.
You withdraw it,
Those-
re-advertise,
that's the
whatever.
detail.
That's what you need to do. That's your best
So
bet.
I'm withdrawing today.
We'll make a motion on that. Can't withdraw once they started.
So my neighbors are gonna get those
We
things
can
again?
make a motion for that, right?
They can request it.
Already
They can
started it.
request and then
You
we
can get that
approve.
zoning code right on their website, it's on website.
Family room is above the garage, you know what they
There you
call
go.
it?
After.
Family room is above garage.
So wait, just so I can clarify this from my lawyer, this has been denied tonight. No, not denied for that, no, I'm just talking about as far as
No.
withdrawing, this has
You're
been
withdrawing.
withdrawn.
Big difference, withdrawing. You're
Okay,
withdrawing
I'm
your-
requesting to withdraw.
You're withdrawing your petition
And you're gonna start all over again.
That's
So you
fine.
go back to the drawing board,
Oh.
no pun intended.
No,
You
this
got
is,
the-
no, this
have
is
some
good, no.
drawings.
Only because when I go, because the contractor that we're going, I just, so this, I can have this as evidence, because he's saying that we didn't need to go to zoning, all we needed was a permit, and he was just gonna rip my roof off.
Yeah.
And then he took my 20 grand and ran.
You know what that's called?
Fraud.
Asking forgiveness rather
Instead
than.
of permission.
Okay, so-
That's what that's called.
Motion,
So, okay.
a motion to withdraw.
Motion withdraw.
Without
Mr.
prejudice?
Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, I move that we accept the applicant's motion to withdraw without prejudice.
I'll
I
second.
second it.
Thank you.
But now, when they come back, they need to come back with a new set of drawings.
Yes.
They
So
start
like
all
start
over again.
all over.
Yep,
Start
that's
over
fine.
again.
Now I know what,
That's
now,
not for January?
Mike, you would
Yeah.
have to file by December 1 to be heard the last Wednesday of the month.
Which the next time, the next time that we meet is
That's
January.
3 days from now, guys.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
No.
make it in January.
If they get
I
it,
to November, I was.
Okay, well,
Paula, if they get it in,
if you can get it done in the next 3 days, go for it, and then
As
we'll
long
be
as
back
they're
in
in before
January. If not, it'll probably be
January
February, okay?
they can hear it in January.
Yeah, if you give it to me by January 1st, I can put you on for January 20? Is that the last Wednesday?
Let's,
28?
let's see.
20?
I give it to you by January 1st.
Yeah, because speaking of before.
Yeah, I got that ridiculous too much now.
So basically,
January 30th, the last Wednesday of the month of January is January 30th. Okay? Thank you. Have a nice night. Take a vote. All in favor? Take a vote on the motion.
thank you for not biting her head off.
Can we do a roll call on this, or just?
Yeah.
Peter Kowski.
Yes.
Alan.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Michael McPhillips. Justin Clutio.
Yes.
Richard Hayes.
Yes.
The ayes have it.
Approved to withdraw.
Okay,
Last one.
moving right along again. This is it. Petition number 2018-8. Applicant Chadwick Barrows, Inc., owner 31 JPM LLC, premises 31 James P. Murphy Highway, Plat 30, Lot 56, Zone BP. Proposed use, the applicant is seeking a special use permit for retail, motor vehicle, that's new and used, personal and other service categories, vehicles rental and leasing, vehicle repair, other repair services, welding, office support area under section 5-E13, section 5-G11, and section 5G17 of the zoning ordinance of the town of West Warwick as amended. Come on up, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I've marked as exhibits, exhibit number 1, the application, number 2, the zoning map, number 3, the abutters list, number 4, the survey plan, number 5, the zoning certificate, number 6, the tax collector's report, number 7, the green cards. And I would like to call the attention to the fact that this is in the business park, and that the use that they are seeking is a permitted use.
Fire away.
Well, first a little housekeeping. The spelling of my client's name, instead of an H, oh, I'm sorry, Dante Giammarco, attorney for Chadwick Dabos, or Barros, pardon me, that's a K instead of an H at the end of the first name.
Chadwick with a K.
Chadwick with a K.
Okay.
And Barros, it's capital B, small a, capital R, small O-S-S.
Okay.
Just cleaning up some,
Definitely a housekeeping issue.
just a housekeeping issue. As noted, this is in the business park. And as you know, the business park does not have any access to any residential area. So there is no way the use proposed could interfere with a residential area. The property has access to Route 2 and to Route 95, so that makes, it has the adequate, substantial major road access It's a major investment into the town, in the vicinity of $3 million going to get invested there. And they figure, at least right now, it looks like about 15 employees, maybe more than that.
Right off the bat? 15 right off the bat?
Yeah.
Are they moving from a different location?
Not right off.
Isn't that-
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Has to happen over time.
Okay.
33 Plain Way right now, I think we
Good.
have.
Sorry.
Don,
That's,
come up, please. I'm sorry about that. Misunderstood.
Could I have your name, please?
Yes. My name is Donald Maisley, Masley.
M-A-S-L-E-Y. Raise your right hand. So I tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do. So we have 5 employees right now. We'll build that over time, but we have to fill a 30,000 square foot facility.
that's a pretty big building.
Gotta find some people.
Where's Plan Way?
Right near the airport, tucked in where UPS is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Tiny spot.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nice.
So, the use is clearly compatible with the surrounding uses. It is a use that is permitted, it needs a special use permit, but it is a permitted use for that facility. And really, this building is ideal for what they intend to do. And the only reason the welding is mentioned there is because when you have some construction equipment, it's not unusual to have to weld on a piece of
Yes,
something. It's not like they're gonna have a welding shop in there.
It's
It's
up the hill.
just maintenance and,
For the board's information, I was informed that the tax assessor was quite pleased with this application.
Absolutely.
Sure that he was. I'm sure the assessor was. Is,
so really, that's
in a nutshell?
it in a nutshell. I mean, I have other people I could bring up here to testify, but they're going to testify as to what I've
You're going
already
into the
said.
you're going into the Graph Tech System building that's been down for a little while, you're looking to make use of it.
It's
Is
just
this the Graph
Long
Tech
and
building?
short, that's what you're looking to do.
Yeah.
It's,
This is Graph Tech
It's the
building.
Graph Tech building.
Been in it many times.
yeah, it's a warehouse
Probably been empty for like the last year and a
some
half.
empty space.
Yeah.
So this is putting a
Oh, it's putting a
building that's
business in
underutilized.
the business park, what you
Right.
want.
So,
Are you a repair facility now, sir?
We are. Yes. Sales and repair.
Oh, sales and repair, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
If
one
I-
of several in New England. We have facilities in Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts,
Oh,
and
so it's not a singular facility, you have multiple facilities?
multiple
Oh,
facilities, yes.
okay. Yeah, this is probably even a better area than Plan Way, it's more visibility.
Oh, without a doubt. No, we look forward to improving our footprint and increasing our sales.
I don't blame you. Pete, do you have
I do.
Do you have any questions on, I would be shocked if you didn't.
No, I do. I want to say welcome. I've been in that building many times with Graph Tech.
Oh,
I'm a former councilman for Ward 5, which that's it.
it is.
Graph Tech was a great company. They diversified 2 or 3 times in product line, almost in career product line while they were in there. They did well for many, many years. In the front of your property, on the south side of your property, east, south, is that mostly wetland?
There is a portion of wetland.
Portion of wetland, yeah. That's the shape area over here,
Okay.
mostly wetland here.
and that's existing. That's-
Yeah, I'm well aware, yeah. I just try and make information so our
Very
other
good.
board members realize where it is and, whatnot. It's a great facility. I have a couple of questions regarding, you have a showroom going in there also?
Yes.
You have a front sales lot that's gonna be there with some of your product? Is it for, heavy equipment?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not, I know I read that somewhere, but I was just looking for it now, and I'm not sure.
Construction equipment,
Construction
skid
equipment.
loaders, excavators.
Skidders and whatnot.
Yes, sir.
Did you have a particular company? Is it
We
Caterpillar
represent
or?
Takuchi,
Okay,
link belt excavators.
okay.
Could you
We,
stand up with the mic, sir?
I'm sorry. Takeuchi is a product line that we represent, link belt excavators. Sani is a Chinese manufacturer that's making their way into the United States, and we also represent Sani.
S-O-N-Y, is it?
S-A-N-Y.
That wasn't my design.
That'll get confusing.
That's good. Thank you.
Yes.
I like it.
What this town needs.
What
More
variance
business.
does it need?
Needs more
You sure
business,
you
not
need a
less
variance?
business, what this town needs.
That's what I was wondering.
Because that Graph Tech building's been probably empty for at least the last year.
It has been grossly underutilized,
Yeah.
and this would be a
I just
great
have
way.
one question, I'm sure you know the answer to this. All of your rigs can fit inside, right? Can they fit inside? The
permitted
rigs
with a
that
special
you're gonna be
use permit.
working, they all fit inside the building, right?
Presently, yes.
Okay.
Yes, they do. Yes, there are overhead doors in the back that would allow us to be able to come in from
You
the
got a
back
loading
side.
dock and back.
That's correct. There are a number of doors that we would
Okay.
utilize. Yes.
They're just in the back, they're not in the sight of
Exactly.
driving on JP Murphy Highway.
Yes.
Okay. Rick? Amy?
I don't know if you know of any background.
Justin?
J.P. Murphy, the solicitor, was he a member of the planning board for, zoning board for years, or planning board? Before your time? Come on.
No, it was after my time here and before my time back. It was in the interim.
It's J.P. Murphy Highway is named after a longtime gentleman that served us work well on committees and a lot of different things.
I've seen his name on a lot of things, yes.
I was doing this duty in East Greenwich
Yeah.
during that
Look
period.
at that. I'm just waiting for you. I mean,
I'm good.
do you have any questions? Okay. Peter, do you have any more line
No,
of
I'm
questions
good.
or commentary?
Nope.
Okay.
I said would be done by 20 past, by the way.
There we go.
I know, you got 5 minutes.
You got 5.5 more
You
minutes
got
of
5 minutes.
commentary if you so desire.
Close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second.
There we go.
Vote.
Vote.
All in
Make
favor?
a motion to vote.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
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 Motion to
Okay.
approve.
Petition 2018-8, special use permit to convert a warehouse with parts and storage support areas into a retail motor vehicle, new and used personal and other service categories, vehicle rental and leasing, vehicle repair, other repair services, for Chadwick Ross Inc., 31 James P. Murphy Highway, Plat 30, Lot 56, Zone BP. Make a motion that we approve the special use permit. Find the proposed use is compatible with neighboring land uses. It will not create a nuisance in the neighborhood. It will not hinder future development of the town. It will conform to all applicable sections of the zoning ordinance and is in conformance with the purposes and intents of the comprehensive plan.
Second.
Discussion.
I will be voting in favor, just point of interest, I should say. I'm just looking at what the variance is. The variance is principal buildings. This gentleman would not need a variance at all if it was still qualified as an industrial park, as it was originally designed. In fact, Bob Boyer was here back in the day. Boyer did most of the design work, went to DC and got approval, and now will probably tell you a lot more than what I can remember. But under an industrial zone, all of this would fall into it, and he wouldn't even have to be here. It is now known as a business zone. So we're giving the variance, the difference between what's allowed under business, going back to what he could do if it was an industrial. I will be in favor.
Alan, right?
Yes.
Michael McPhillips,
Yes.
Justin Kutu,
Yes.
and Richard Bank.
Yes.
Petition has passed.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations and good luck to you.
You're all invited to our open house.
Yes,
We'll let you
very
know.
Okay, perfect.
Mr.
Perfect.
Mr. Chairman, one last one last very brief minute of business. Over the year,
Give me a call and I'll introduce you to the council members.
Just listening while you're on the clock.
I had previously submitted to the zoning board and to the planning board a workbook. I had submitted a workbook to give you, both boards, some kind of guidance of the statutory and background. From time to time, I would send zoning board or the planning board cases that came down from Superior Court or various materials. What happened was, recently, the question came up, so I went to find my report to the zoning board, and I had no idea where I put it. So I said, well, if I can't find what I did, chances of the zoning board and planning board finding it are less than mine.
Most likely.
So what I did was I prepared a much more thorough workbook. I included in it not only what I had given you before, but I went back through my records and I pulled together some of the decisions and some of the information that I had submitted to you from time to time and included it in there. That was my primary purpose. And then also, over the weekend, I sent out to all of you a case by this, decided by the Superior Court regarding defective applications.
Certificate case.
And so I just thought that when I do things like that, if you feel they're worth reading,
Yeah, they're great.
you got
Peter
some,
up at 12 o'clock at night reading them. So
you
when he
got
comes
some,
in, he can verbatim talk about it.
you got some place you can
I don't go to bed early.
stick them and know where they are. And I'll know where they are too.
That's good.
Thanks, Al.
I can,
Very good.
we do what we're gonna do like at 2, no, not yet.
No, we got-
Not yet.
we got Another 3 or 4 minutes.
We got another 3 minutes.
When?
We can do it quick. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, not official yet.
I believe it's our duty to reorganize
Yes,
as
it
a
is.
board.
Yes, it is.
At this time, I'd like to move the name of Michael McPhillips. No, Al shaking his head.
Gotta be on the agenda.
Gotta be on the agenda?
Sure.
See you in January.
See you in January. See everybody in January.
Yeah,
Motion to adjourn.
Because if it's not on the agenda, somebody out there might
We
object.
only had 5 things on the agenda tonight. Why wouldn't we have a 6th item?
Because I didn't draw the open meetings law, but I just,
Before.
No one reminded Paul.
Huh?
Sorry.
I'm concerned that if it went
Probably
forward,
better to be safe than sorry.
and
I
if
know,
you
I
went
agree.
forward
Definitely.
and somebody came in and said the election was done improperly,
Yeah.
and you deny the application,
Okay.
you've gotta,
Okay.
it's a matter of stupidity,
Well,
but
put it in January.
So can we make sure it's on the agenda?
What's that?
reorganization.
Reorganization of-
For the chairman and vice chairmanship of the board.
Is there a meeting in
Board of
January?
Review.
Yes, there is, I guess it's Schmidt, guys.
Okay.
What's that, for January?
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
third and fourth.
Have a Merry Christmas, everybody.
You too.
Same to you, Al. Merry Christmas.
Hey, Al.
Oh, Al,
And I wasn't lying to you.
Yeah.
Al,
I gotta tell
should we keep both, we need both of these documents then, right?
Yeah.
This is the,
That was definitive.
or is this